Sonic High School, Chapter 16. It was now a new day of school, and Sonic went to it. Sonic took a peek of the auditorium, where the bomb had gone off last night, and it looked like they were fixing it, so that was good. Sonic went to his first class and his second class, and all of the classes after that, until lunch, which is what he was at now. Sonic went to his lunch table and was about to say, "Hey guys," but then he looked at his normal lunch table and he thought, "What has happened?" Tails was not here because he was being mad at Sonic. Knuckles was not here because he was now a baby and with Rouge. Espio was not here because he was at the hospital after fighting with Knuckles before he became a baby. And Charmy was not here because he was still in a disappearing mystery. The only people that were there were Shadow and Vector. "Hey guys," said Sonic, "what is going on with high school?" "It sure is crazy," laughed Vector while he ate his yellow sandwich. "Has anything new happened today?" said Sonic to them. "Didn't you hear?" said Shadow. "Espio is back out from the hospital. He would be here at lunch right now, but he is getting all of his work from his teachers." "That reminds me," said Vector. "Also, Knuckles is having trouble with grades. Now that he has become a baby, he has not turned in any of his homework or tests, and he is going to fail high school and get kicked out if he doesn't do them." "Wow, that's tough," said Sonic. And then all of a sudden, the announcement speaker came on. "Attention teachers and teenagers," said the announcement speaker. "A and Rouge have detention for going in the boys' room last night after the play. Please go there immediately." "Oh no," said Sonic so immediately. "Looks like they're gonna be in there for a long time," said Shadow. "There is no way I can become true boyfriend and girlfriend with Amy if she is trapped in detention by having sex," said Sonic. Sonic was so upset now. Then the announcement speaker came on again. "Attention teenagers, Sonic, please come to the office," said the speaker. "Uh-oh, looks like you're in trouble." "Too," said Vector. Vector was always making people mad. He was definitely an asshole to be around. Sonic got embarrassed like when Miss Lesson read about his balls problems, and then he ran out of the lunchroom and through the halls with his head down, not looking or talking to anyone, and went to the office. "Hello?" said Sonic to the office. "What do you want?" "Here, this is for you," said the school worker, who had long hair and a star tattoo with an outline on her face. "Rouge left it for you before going into detention." Sonic went over to the desk she was at and looking at and pointed to, and found what she was talking about, which was Knuckles and Knuckles Jr., with a note attached to them that said, "Please take care of us while Rouge and Espio are not around." Sonic was so surprised. He had never taken care of a baby before, forget two, especially when one of them was his friend after becoming a baby. "Thanks for coming so quickly," said Knuckles Jr. "I was getting hungry." Knuckles Jr. was red. Sonic picked up Knuckles and Knuckles Jr. and put them in his backpack and went to the rest of his classes and then went home. Sonic got home and opened his backpack and took Knuckles and Knuckles Jr. out and put them onto his bed. "Welcome to my room," said Sonic. "Don't check out the pornos on my desk if you don't want to see them," said Sonic. "You are both only babies." Knuckles and Knuckles Jr. laughed and ate food that Sonic brought up for them after they laughed. "Hey Sonic," said Knuckles, "you gotta help me. With my homework, it is very hard to write as a baby." So then Sonic helped Knuckles learn to write, and he finished doing his homework as a baby. Knuckles probably did a lot of things wrong, but Sonic did not care because homework was boring. Then Sonic went to mow the lawn, which made his balls balls itch extra. And then he went back home upstairs, but stopped on the stairs to put some soothing poultices on his balls.
So, what do you guys do for fun?
Said Sonic to Knuckles and Knuckles Jr. Well, said Knuckles, can we tell you, and you promise you will not tell anyone?
Don't worry,
said Knuckles Jr. to Knuckles.
I can tell. He will not tell anyone.
Okay then, said Knuckles to Sonic. When we are alone and not being held by Rouge, we like to practice kissing on each other. It is technically okay because I am Knuckles Jr.'s dad, and a dad is allowed to kiss his baby.
Cool,
said Sonic.
Show me.
So, Knuckles and Knuckles Jr. got very up close to each other and kissed each other in a really good way. It was okay because they are father and son, and also both brothers.
I can't.
And that is allowed everywhere. And it is not illegal. Even if they are both babies now. The two of them kissing look like two big, not sexual caterpillars pushing themselves together. It was not a sexual kiss, but it was a big gold medal kiss anyway.
Wow, I can tell you are both going to be romance experts when you grow up,
said Sonic.
I would ask you for tips, but it would probably then be against the law.
Sonic asked them to kiss one more time, and they did. But Sonic videotaped it this time so that he would know how to kiss Amy even better next time they kissed, which would be when she gets out of detention. Then they all had a root beer and talked about which girls are the hottest.
Which girl do you think is the hottest?
Said Sonic to Knuckles and Knuckles Jr.
I know my answer. It is Amy.
Amy was Sonic's girlfriend, so this was very good of him to say. It proves that he should be able to have sex with her. No way, said Knuckles. Just then Sonic wanted to slug that little fart bitch in the mouth for saying ugly about his girlfriend, but didn't. The hottest girl is Rouge. None of them could not say that Rouge was not attractive because she had the absolute biggest boobs in the tri-state area.
My opinion is different,
said Knuckles Jr.
I think the hottest girl is Charmy.
They all laughed so hard because Charmy was so much like a girl, except not hot. Everyone knew that laughing was good for them, even if Charmy was kidnapped or dead, and that it made them feel healthy. Knuckles Jr. was definitely the coolest baby because everyone could get along with him and he could do jokes also. Then they all got out of their clothes and into the bedtime clothes and went to sleep. Sonic was sleeping just fine and normally until there was a whisper at the edge of his face.
Sonic, Sonic, Sonic,
said the whisper.
Sonic, Sonic, Sonic.
Sonic opened his eyes and saw the person whispering to him, and who he was right there, which was Knuckles Jr.
What is it, Knuckles Jr.?
Said Sonic to Knuckles Jr.
I was sleeping until you whispered my name to me. I had a vision,
said Knuckles Jr.
I know who the real Killer Man is, and I know where Charmy is.
Sonic High School, Chapter 17.
Ass! This window will not open, not even little,
said Sonic as he tried pushing the window out of the house where Charmy Bee was in Knuckles Jr.'s vision. Sonic even put his back up against the wall and tried using the top of his head and hands to push up on it, but it would just not move because it was such a big and heavy closed window.
It looks like you're having a hard time,
said Knuckles Jr.
Weak pussy.
Knuckles Jr. laughed because he was kidding, but Sonic did not think it was that funny and gave him a look that was like he just took the pickles off Sonic's hamburger that he pacifically asked for pickles on. In addition, Sonic really likes pickles.
We need help, but I do not want to bring someone else into this problem,
said Sonic to Knuckles Jr., thinking. Sonic thought about
who is strong.
He thought of some people like Knuckles, but then remembered that he is now a baby, and hence thus not a strong guy. And Tails, who was not strong, but probably had some strong robots. And Espio, who was probably about the same in strongness as Sonic, but Sonic did not want to ask him for help because that would be like saying, "You are stronger than me," and Sonic did not want to say that to Espio. He also thought of Big the Cat, who was in some special classes at school, but did not want to talk to him because it was always weird. There was only one person that Sonic could think of.
"Come with me, Knuckles Jr.,"
said Sonic to Knuckles Jr. It was the middle of the night, and Sonic and Knuckles Jr. went up to the door of a different house.
"Ding dong,"
said the doorbell when Sonic pressed it.
"Press it again,"
said Knuckles Jr.
"Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong,"
said the doorbell again and again as Sonic pressed it. Sonic saw the lights flashing on and off inside the house every time he pressed it and laughed because it was so annoying and the person inside the house was probably just trying to sleep. But Sonic needed help so too bad. Finally, the door opened and there was the lunch lady from high school who was deaf.
"What is it, children?"
said the lunch lady. Since she was deaf, when she talked it sounded weird and kind of like Big the Cat, where you think she is special, but she actually is not, and it just because she is deaf, so everything she says sounded totally wrong. It sounded more like here we go.
"What is it, Tata?" "What is it, children?"
The normal language. Big the Cat was actually special though, so it was different.
"We need your help. It is very important,"
said Sonic and made a face like a beggar idiot to get her to say yes.
"Okay, I will help you,"
said the lunch lady. Sonic and Knuckles Jr. were so excited that they high-fived right there, because this was just what they needed to do what they wanted to do. Sonic and Knuckles Jr. and the lunch lady went back to the house where Charmy was and went to the window that Sonic could not open.
"Please open this window,"
said Sonic to the lunch lady. The lunch lady walked over to the window, and with just her pinky finger, she opened the window just like she was a walking elephant, picking up a piece of string because it was so easy.
"Wow, thank you,"
said Sonic and Knuckles Jr. at the same time in the middle of the night.
"No, that is not how you thank me,"
said the lunch lady. When the lunch lady lived in Bangladesh, as a young woman, she learned about the ancient tradition of sex thinking, and she explained it all to Sonic.
So you want me to So, you want me to give you sex with my mouth?
Said Sonic to the lunch lady.
"Yes, because it is ancient tradition. It is not slutty,"
said the lunch lady, who was also really tall.
Amy will forgive me for Amy will forgive me for this. Amy will forgive me for this,
thought Sonic underneath his head, in his brain.
she would know that I am doing this for a good reason. And we have not even done sex yet, so she cannot be mad at me. And even if she is, I would let her give sex to the lunch lady too, and I would not get mad. But then we would be even.
Sonic winked and gave a thumbs up, and then the lunch lady pulled her dress down and sat down on a tree stump and opened her legs. Sonic looked at the lunch lady's vagina, and it looked like a sideways piece of lasagna in between two dogs walking down and away from it. Okay. Sonic thought her vagina was really attractive for a middle-aged lady and put his head closer to it. Sonic had never done mouth sex before, but he had read about it online and maybe looked at some pictures or videos really quick, but then closed them before he would get in trouble with Mom. Sonic tried to think about the videos to know what to do, but it turned out Sonic was quite the sex man. It all came naturally to him anyways. Sonic opened his mouth and chewed. No. Sonic opened his mouth and chewed on. God. Sonic opened his mouth and chewed on the lunch lady's vagina really hard, like Pac-Man running into the bottom of one of the ghosts non-stop. She was totally quiet while he did this, but she was beating on the ground and making huge holes like meteors, and even hit a tree nearby and it broke in half because she was so in love with Sonic's abilities. Sonic nibbled on her outer vagina, and it tasted like a birthday cake. His penis even popped up during this like a meerkat looking out for its family on Meerkat Manor. He kept on going closer into her vagina and making sure to get every part of it on the way down, like a window washer in New York City, washing windows, but instead it was her vagina, so it was sexy. Sonic also kissed and sucked on her vagina like he was trying to appreciate the secret sauce in the lunch lady's roast beef sandwich without opening the sandwich. Sonic even used his tongue and scooped eggs out of her vagina that were made during the female reproduction process. He kept going further into her vagina until he was able to fit his entire head in. It was really dark inside of her. It was really dark inside her vagina because there weren't any lights, but it was clearly where the sexiest parts of her were. It was spacious, like an empty factory from all the previous sex thinking people had done to her. Sonic was able to get them sex spots, all using his mouth and nose and forehead, pleasing her and making her fall in love with him. He was rolling his head around in her vagina like he was doing a hula hoop on his neck. She was so impressed that Sonic thought she would email everyone in Bangladesh to tell them how good Sonic was at sex thinking later. Sonic decided it was time to finish doing this and shouted, "Yeah!" inside her vagina to make vibrations bounce off the walls of her vagina and hitting all her sex spots at once. The lunch lady was so excited that she pulled the tree stump that she was sitting on out of the ground. She could do this because she was very strong and experienced with carrying trees. Sonic took his head out of her vagina and brushed the vagina crumbs off his face and combed his hair. "You're welcome," laughed Sonic smoothly to the lunch lady and looked at Knuckles Jr. And Knuckles Jr., who was watching with big eyes but did not say anything. The lunch lady put her clothes on and shook his hand and said that the people of Bangladesh would be very impressed with him and that if he ever wanted to visit there, just to tell her, and she could buy plane tickets for him and all his friends. The lunch lady was really nice, even if she had weird ideas that she got from being in Asia when she was little. She went back home to go to sleep. Sonic and Knuckles Jr. then went inside the open window.
He's in there. I know it,
said Knuckles Jr., who was pointing at a closet in the room that they were in, which was now inside the house, and it was a bedroom inside. Sonic and Knuckles tiptoed over to the closet and opened it up, and what the saw was surprising and shocking and scary. It was Charmy B's body, all dead and bloody and rotting and cut up into pieces.
Wow, he is completely dead,
said Sonic, who was so shocked that he could not think about anything else. It was true. This time it was really Charmy, and he was dead.
Oh my god, I'm seeing so many shocking things for the first time today,
said Knuckles Jr. Sonic went down and picked up a piece of his body and saw bite marks in it. Sonic was about to say something, and then all of a sudden, this happened. What are you doing here, idiots? shouted Vector. How did you get in here?
That window, bitch, dick,
said Sonic as he felt a sudden rage build up inside him like the foam from cream soda going over the top of the glass when someone pours it like an idiot ass.
What is wrong with you? Why did you do this? Why are you the murderer?
Ha ha! Let me show you how, said Vector as he ran at Sonic and Knuckles Jr., chomping his teeth in the style of an alligator. Sonic High School, Chapter 18. Vector ran at Sonic and Knuckles Jr., who were there in his room with his teeth going 1,000,000 miles an hour. Here comes your death, straight from my mouth, said Vector as he ran at them, still going. Ah! Shouted Sonic. Sonic was fast and able to do it, so he ran forward and between Vector's legs, underneath his body, and hit his head into Vector's penis while sliding through. He was still holding Knuckles Jr., the baby. Sonic ran to another wall of the room, but Vector ran right back at him with his big crocodile bite move, and Sonic dodged him again, and it kept happening again and again.
Stop it!
Shouted Sonic.
Stop doing this!
Sonic was sick of hitting his head into Vector's penis. It was beginning to leave a mark, and it was embarrassing to Sonic to have someone else's penis mark on your head.
This better come out before school,
said Sonic, rubbing the mark Vector's penis left on his forehead. Now you must die, said Vector, and continued to be the murderer that he had turned out to be.
No, stop, come on,
said Sonic, yelling, and he was getting so mad. But Vector ran at him another time, and Sonic kept hitting his thick green Okay. Sonic kept hitting his thick green crocodile dick, and it kept... Sonic kept hitting his thick green crocodile dick, and it kept getting harder now every time he hit it. Sonic guessed weird things like this were sexy to Vector. Sonic kept hitting his penis and making it harder and harder until one time Sonic slided under where his penis and stuff was and hit it with his head again, so semen ejaculated out of his penis and across the floor in a big long puddle like a slip and slide and covered with mayonnaise. God.
All right,
said Sonic. Vector looked shocked, like he did not even notice that his penis was turning into a hard penis. Now Sonic threw Knuckles Jr. at the puddle of Vector's semen. Knuckles Jr. glided across Vector's semen like a baby speedboat. Oh no. And did a roller coaster turn and flew up onto Vector. Knuckles Jr. landed somewhere on him and did a tumble forward and got to his head where he poked Vector's eyes, and Vector began to scream, "Ah! God, bitch, baby, that hurt! I'll kill you!" screamed Vector while Knuckles Jr. rolled off his body and over to the door of his room.
Over here, Sonic,
said Knuckles Jr. while Vector was still rubbing his eyes, which hurt from the attack. Sonic ran over to the door and with his speeding legs kicked it down like a professional wrestler, picking a person up and hitting them down onto the ground through a door. Sonic then picked up Knuckles Jr. and ran through the door and down the hall, through Vector's house, and saw a lot of green things and things that were about crocodiles, and also bad things that were about drugs and guns, and also even things like weird African porn videos. Okay. Then he got to a different door and opened it and walked into the other side and closed the door and put some things in front of the door to block it. Then with a stomping loud noise like a bowling ball with legs was jumping up and down the floor and hitting it hard. Vector went up to the door and put his body on it trying to crash through it like a penis going into a big, hard vagina. "Open this, please!" screamed Vector as he tried to hit it down.
"No! Why did you kill Charmy?"
shouted Sonic at Vector, who was on the other side of the door that was hard to get through. "Because Knuckles messed it all up. Knuckles or Espio was supposed to kill the other one when they fought in the school hallway that one time. I made the fight happen because I wanted one of them to die, because they are both fart lords, and they are the only people who could beat me and become the new football team captain. So I went to Knuckles' house instead after and replaced him with a robot Charmy and took the real Charmy and home and chewed on his broken body and made him into meat that I can use for my meals. He was no use to me or anyone, especially not me. None of you are." Ah! Vector screamed and hit the door, but still could not get through.
"Where did you get a Charmy robot? Is Eggman involved? This could ruin things for everyone, don't you know?"
said Sonic back to Vector like a ship sending a message to a different ship. "When you begin to do crimes, you become dark, and now I have become darker than Shadow. I made friends with Al-Qaeda, and they made me a Charmy robot using Osama bin Laden's technology. He was bulletproof and was going to kill first Knuckles and then Espio in the hospital, and then maybe the rest of you if I wanted, but you messed it up, shit idiot. Ah!" Vector hit on the door so hard that it actually started to break.
"Let's get out of here,"
said Knuckles Jr.
"We can call police. Let's just get out of here and get safe."
Then Sonic and Knuckles ran out of the house. But just when they were doing that, Vector broke through the door and jumped like an alligator at Sonic and Knuckles Jr. and hit them to the ground and landed on top of them. "Now I will kill just like I did to Charmy," said Vector, and opened his mouth really big to bite their bodies. But then, all of a sudden, something came from out of the sky and picked them up, and Vector was left there on the ground looking like a teen loser.
"We're in the air now,"
said Tails.
"I rescued you."
Tails was using his flying tails to fly and was holding Sonic, who was holding Knuckles Jr. They were like a helicopter?
"What? How did you know we were here?"
said Sonic, who was so shocked to be in this situation.
"I looked the Charmy robot and figured out it was from Al-Qaeda and broke into the government computer network system data and found out that the Vector was friends with Al-Qaeda,"
said Tails, the smart friend of Sonic.
"But I thought you were pissed at me,"
said Sonic with a questioning sound.
"I am tired of being mad at you. We are best friends again,"
said Tails.
"Cool. Now let's get Vector,"
said Sonic. By now they were up above the clouds, which is very high.
"Fly down and I will kick his face off."
Tails flew down fast and Sonic held on to Knuckles Jr. really tightly. Sonic had his legs sticking out to kick and they went down faster than a shooting star being shot out of a gun down. They went down back to the floor where Vector was and kicked Vector's face. Vector's head almost spun around because they hit him so hard, but now he was on the ground.
Tails, do that one more time,
said Sonic. Tails flew up and then Sonic revealed his balls, even though he could see almost the whole country from up here. He did not care because this was more important. Sonic scratched his balls and held on to Knuckles Jr. while Tails flew down fast again. Sonic's balls dragged behind him in the sky, and then they went down to the bottom of the ground, and Sonic's diseased balls smacked right into Vector's face. No! Screamed Vector as Sonic's balls smacked into his mouth and nose and eyes like a plastic bag full of pudding. Vector looked into the sky and made an asshole face for the last time, and then he turned into stone, and then he turned into dust and was now dead.
I could be glad for once that my balls are very poisonous,
said Sonic as he looked at the pile of dust that was Vector before he died and did some squinting.
He is dead, and everyone is okay now.
Thank goodness,
said Knuckles Jr. to them.
This was too much excitement for one night.
Look at the bright side,
said Tails to them.
2 of the worst fart-ass teenagers in high school are dead. Yes, it is all fixed now,
said Sonic. They took Charmy's body with them, but not Vector's, who was now a pile of dust, because they thought he did not deserve to be nice too. Then they went home to get ready for school tomorrow, and Sonic thought,
there are still more problems to deal with in high school. This is not over, especially not for me.
Sonic High School, Chapter 19. It was now a new day of school, and Sonic went right to school. Sonic had Knuckles and Knuckles Jr. in his back since he still had them after explaining what happened to Knuckles yesterday. Sonic scratched his balls along the way, and they were only getting worse.
You look like spoiled meat,
said Sonic to his balls. Sonic got to school, and the first thing he did was bring Charmy's dead head to the theater club, because that was Charmy's favorite thing, and Sonic thought Charmy would like it if they used his face for a mask for the next play now that he is dead. Then Sonic took the rest of Charmy's body and put it outside in a trash can, so nobody would look and try and find it, and it could be safe and alone. Sonic went to his first class, and his second class, and even his third class, and else and went to lunch, where there were his friends.
Hey guys,
said Sonic to them.
Hey Sonic,
said Espio.
I am back from the hospital. Where's Charmy and Vector? Well, they are dead,
said Sonic.
Vector killed Charmy, and we killed Vector. So they are now both dead. Vector was a bad guy, so we will not get in trouble.
Yeah,
said Tails. They will not come back to lunch anymore. I rescued Sonic and Knuckles Jr. Oh, that's right. Where are Knuckles, my baby with rouge, and Knuckles Jr.?
Said Espio to Sonic and Tails.
They are right here. Here you go.
Said Sonic and said Sonic, and Sonic gave the 2 babies to Espio. What a relief. Sonic was tired of having to take care of babies that were not even his. It is good that Sonic has the best morals of all Hugh School students, because any other person pretty much would not have taken very good care of them.
Hey, ass butthole,
said Shadow.
It is my job to do crimes.
Then Shadow laughed and high-fived Sonic for doing a good job. Sonic was the best,
Please explain to Silver what happened.
said Sonic to Shadow.
Okay, I will explain it to him. I wish he was in the same lunch period as us, but he is not,
said Shadow in an explaining way.
I would not high-five Sonic, said Tails. His balls are full of poison, and it is easily catchable. Tails!
Screamed Sonic.
So, it is true, you really do have a brawl problem,
said SBO.
It is okay, Sonic. Other people have problems and your balls are just like theirs. Okay, but this is different and bad, and getting only more worse,
said Sonic with a worrying face.
Whatever. It is almost summer,
said Tails.
That means high school is ending soon.
Cool, yeah, said everyone at the same time because it was easier to. Then everyone went to different classes. Tails went to his smart class that he was in with Cream, but Cream was standing outside of the class where Tails went to.
Cream, you're standing outside the class. Why?
Said Tails to Cream.
Did you hear? Charmy is dead, and it relaxes me so much because now I do not have to break up with him. We can now become true boyfriend and girlfriend now,
said Cream to Tails in the hallway outside.
But we have class now,
said Tails to Cream.
Forget class, Smarto,
said Cream shoutingly. Cream pulled on Tails' hand until his whole body moved and brought him into a closet in the school. It was big enough for inside for sex, is what Tails noticed. Cream locked the door and took off all of her clothing. Tails was so shocked, but he looked at her sexy body, and it looked like a beautiful naked... and it looked like a beautiful naked man with a vagina. Cream took out her vagina. No, Cream took out her vagina. Cream took out her vagina. Cream took out her vagina and showed it to Tails, and he went nuts. His penis got hard as a printer. His penis got hard as a printer because her vagina looked like a cold-cut bladder.
Wow, cool vagina,
shouted Tails, losing his cool way because he was nervous and excited to miss class and have sex with Cream for first time. Tails took out all of his penis and balls, which were already there and ready, and he jumped right into her invitation-only parts. Tails jumped up and down with his penis inside her, cheering like a boy teen, and shaking his fists in the air like the Rocky movies. And Cream was happy because she was not a love expert too. Tails' penis kept getting bigger, and Cream's vagina was already pretty much full of his penis.
Make more room, we've got company,
screamed Tails, and then he was able to stick his balls in too, under his penis. Okay. Tails fit so much genitals into Cream that it looked like there was an upside down couch sofa in her vagina. Tails shook around like a crazy, and Cream was slapping her hands and ears into the doors and cleaning supplies in the closet. Cream then was now trying to make him even more sex-powered by pulling on her boobs far enough out to touch his face like two big melty gummy bears on her body.
Eat from these.
Eat from these, screamed Cream, and her voice was breaking like a talking toy that had one of its batteries halfway out, and my brother spilled... Her voice was breaking. Her voice was breaking like a talking toy that had one of its batteries halfway out, and my brother. Her voice was breaking like a talking toy that had one of its batteries halfway out, and my brother spilled juice on it so it didn't work right anymore. Tails sucked on her boobies while his penis was still in her, and got all of the stuff out like he was eating yogurt, only with his mouth, and it supercharged him with sex.
Ready?
Yelled Tails to Cream, and before she could say a thing, Tails started waving his flying tails, and he flew up with his penis still in her, and pointing his penis up so that she went up and was now stuck against the ceiling.
I'm about to make my semen get ready,
said Tails loud over the sound of his own tails was making. Tails flew his tails even harder, and Cream got pushed into the metal ceiling so hard that it made a dent. And then Tails' penis shot a gallon of his own New England clam chowder into her first time vagina. It got over full and spilled plenty on the ground, but not both of them cared. Tails slowed down his tail's speed, and his penis got smaller, and so did her vagina. And they were both out of breath.
We are true boyfriend and girlfriend now,
said Cream and hugged Tails. Tails was so happy and shocked that he became true boyfriend and girlfriend before Sonic did with Amy. Cream put her clothing back on and left, and Tails put his on too. Then he looked at his penis and saw a golden ring on it.
What is this? What is it doing here? A big gold ring?
Said Tails, and he took off the bracelet off his penis.
Why was this in Cream's vagina?
He thought about it, and because he was smart, remembered where he saw this thing. At the end of school, Tails ran to Sonic privately and said,
Sonic, look!
What's that?
Said Sonic to Tails.
A big gold ring! Cool! Let's sell it for cash!
No,
said Tails to Sonic.
This is Amy's bracelet, and I found it in Cream's vagina.
No!
Said Oh, okay.
What?
Said Sonic to Tails.
How did this get in there?
He took the ring and had it.
I can only think of one thing,
said Tails to Tails. Okay. Said Tails to Tails.
I do not mean to suggest this to you and say that she is being a bad girlfriend, but maybe Amy was giving Cream hand sex.
What? No way!
Shouted Sonic to Tails.
But that is the only thing that makes sense. Amy cheated on me. That loose woman. She is a concubine and a bitch.
Sonic got madder than Tails ever saw him get mad and ran off fast. Sonic did not know where he was running to, and to be real, he was not running anywhere. He was running in a really big circle around the town and crying and screaming because Amy cheating on him made him feel worse than anything. Sonic ran around for hours until all of his feelings were out and he was tired from running and being sad and mad and feelings that are hard to say what they are. He stopped and said,
There's only one thing that can make this situation better. I have to go tell Amy that I know. Maybe she will say she is sorry.
Sonic went back to high school and over to the detention room. The security guard was standing outside, but Sonic used his sonic speed to run over to him and punch him so hard in the throat that it closed up for a while and he became unconscious. Sonic took a key from off his keys thing and opened the door to the detention room and saw Amy and Rouge into the corner. Amy and Rouge were both sleeping, and they looked really skinny and hungry. It made their boobs look bigger, but they looked steps from death. They had been in detention for days, and they had not eaten or drinking at all. Sonic looked at Amy and felt bad for her.
It would be so easy to have sex with her right now.
Oh no. Said Sonic behind his face and his head, not out loud.
We could become true boyfriend and girlfriend, and I could pretend like none of this happened.
Sonic thought about it a little bit and even gave his chubby blue penis a toss back and forth like a baseball in a sock.
But no, we would not really be true, not when she cheated on me.
Sonic got ready to wake up Amy and show her the her bracelet. Sonic High School, Chapter 20.
Wake up,
said Sonic to Amy as he kicked her a little on the ground, where she was laying and looking like a dead woman, but she was not actually dead.
Wake up.
Amy opened her eyes and blinked and rubbed her eyes, and then she sat up a little.
Sonic?
She said in a voice like a person who was living poorly.
Is that you?
Amy looked so old and dead from being in detention. It looked like she did not eat or drink at all in a week.
Yes, it is. Now listen,
said Sonic angrily to Amy, who was still on the ground looking up while looking dying.
Do you know where I found this?
Sonic held out Amy's big gold bracelet from her band that she was not wearing, so it must have been hers.
What?
Said Amy to Sonic, looking confused and tired.
That is mine. Where did you find that?
Amy coughed and sounded like diseased African kids.
Wow, idiot. I just asked you that,
said Sonic to Amy in an angry and annoyed way.
So, you are not gonna tell me where this bracelet was? I don't know,
said Amy to Sonic with a crackly sounding voice.
It was up in Cream's vagina, that is where,
said Sonic to Amy.
Why was your jewelry in another girl's vagina?
Screamed Sonic.
I
said Amy, trying to say what she wanted to in her response to Sonic.
Say you were sorry to me,
shouted Sonic at Amy.
No, Sonic, I
said Amy in a slow, dying way like that.
Fuck you. If you are not going to say you are sorry for cheating with me on another girl's vagina, then we are done,
shouted Sonic, with all of his rage running out of his mouth like a train full of swords. Sonic did not even notice he was crying, which was out of his eyes.
Sonic, don't,
said Amy like a weakling. But before she could say the rest of her words, Sonic ran out of the detention room and shut the door behind him so they were still in there, and he did not rescue them. Sonic ran fast as he could to his home and slammed the door behind him and screamed into his bed and cried and punched things and was just so emotional. Sonic could not take all of this pain from being betrayed by his girlfriend, the person who he was one day going to go and get married to and have children with and live in a house and be with together. Sonic knew it was not fair that this would happen and that he also had the deadliest disease in the world and would end up dying before everyone else. He cut his... Oh boy. He cut his wrists a little, but did not do it too much because it was dangerous, like they said at the presentation at school. Sonic cried so hard that he fell asleep, and then he woke up a little while later and looked in the mirror at himself. He did not want to see him anymore, because that was all about him being ruined by other people, even when he was the nicest to everyone. Sonic reached into his drawers and pulled out a black hairdye. Sonic filled up the bathtub with this dye, and it looked like a portal to Evil World. And then he took a bath in it, and when he came out, all of his fur was black. There was no blue on him anymore anywhere. He looked like Shadow, but only similar. Sonic looked into the mirror again, now that he was not blue anymore. He did not say anything, but only looked at himself, and looked angry, but not at himself, but at everyone else. Then Sonic jumped out of his bedroom window instead of going around and down and using the front door. It was bad, like something Shadow would do. Sonic ran away to the tattoo store and looked at their tattoos. They were all gay. He did not see one that he wanted, but then he went to the tattoo man and threatened him until he let him into the secret back room of tattoos for free. There were a lot of cool, bad tattoos back in the back room, like ones with guns and cigarettes and motorcycles and middle fingers, and some with also curse words on them. But Sonic knew which one he wanted finally, and then Sonic saw it. Sonic got "Fuck girls" tattooed right across his chest because he was sick of being ruined by girls like Amy and Cream, who let Amy into her vagina, so it was the fault of her too. Sonic ran back home and waited for the next day, kicking and punching things the whole time like a badass. It was now the next day of high school, and new Black Sonic went to school looking like an angry black man instead of a nice blue man like he was the every other day. This was a new Sonic, and everyone better watch out because he is sick of the world. Shadow was walking in the hallway and he saw Sonic. Hey Sonic, said Shadow to Sonic. What is up with your new black fur?
Don't talk to me,
said Sonic in a voice darker than Shadow when he was committing crimes. He sounded so angry.
What, are you trying to copy off me now?
Shadow laughed and smiled, saying this to Sonic. Sonic gave him one look, and almost like being black gave him powers. Sonic punched Shadow right in the mouth, on his face, and Shadow went flying across the room and hit the wall and was all bloody. Sonic kept walking like nothing happened at all, but other people were looking and were now becoming scared of the new Black Sonic. Sonic went to all of his classes, but did not talk to anyone. Even Miss Lesson and other teachers looked afraid of Sonic, because he was now scary. Sonic did do some things though, like shove a teenage idiot in his locker, and then punch a student who had autism for laughing at him. Sonic did not go to lunch, though he just went outside where no one was, and masturbated. On his penis, and thought about his angry feelings, which were like giant bees flying around on fire. Then Tails came outside.
Sonic? I was looking for you, and I found you. Why are you not at lunch?
Said Tails to Sonic, who was sitting on a curb thing.
Why? Leave me alone,
said Sonic to Tails in the angry way like before.
Are you mad?
Said Tails to Sonic.
I said, leave me alone,
shouted Sonic to Tails, and he threw a rock at him. The rock missed Tails, and Tails went over to Sonic.
No, Sonic, you're my best friend,
said Tails to Sonic.
Tell me, what is wrong? Why are you black?
Sonic looked mad and frustrated, but let off a little and opened up to Tails like a book opening.
Fine. That bitch Amy, who is not my girlfriend anymore, would not say sorry to me. So, I broke up with her.
Said Sonic to Tails, but Sonic was not looking at Tails and was looking at the ground.
Oh my god, panic,
said Tails to Sonic. He was looking at Sonic though.
No, I am over her. I am different now. I have learned about the world, and I am not so stupid and happy like I used to be. I am black now.
Sonic said to Tails, sounding still angry even though he was talking to Tails.
Oh, okay,
said Tails, sounding sad and disappointed.
I just wanted to make sure you're okay. SPL was worried about you too. He also said Knuckles might fail out of high school because he is now a baby and he is having the hardest time of doing his classes as a baby. I brought you a sandwich.
Tails gave the sandwich to Sonic, and he ate it like a rhino chewing up a bag of humans. And when he finished the sandwich, the next period started, and Sonic and Tails went to the rest of their classes. Sonic then went home at the end of the day and lied down on his bed and looked up.
Fuck everyone.
Though Sonic, inside of his head, not saying it out loud.
Fuck the world. I'm gonna die, and no one cares about me.
Sonic just lied and thought, and then he did a workout to become big and strong. Sonic sat down at the end of it, tired and sweaty, but now strong.
What can I do?
Thought Sonic.
Wait, Amy and Rouge get out of detention tomorrow.
Sonic looked at his body in front of him, and then he said,
I am gonna make that bitch pay.